Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning and one of our favorite days, Question and Answer Friday. And I hope you're all ready. And we'll say hello to a few folks. We've got a lot of questions, so we're not going to spend too much time. And Mike, you're number one. Brahim, you're number two. These guys, they got tricks, folks, to get on. And Eric, you're right at the top. And good morning to you guys. We love you dearly. Nativity, how are you? Mary from Norwich. Tina from Nova Scotia. Jerry, Nouveau Brunswick. Wendy from Markham. And Maria from Ottawa. Yvonne, Alberta, bright and early. Anna, Hamner. Danny, good morning to you. Sandy, good morning. And Gary from Bolton. And Yvonne from Petawawa. Good morning. John from Elgin, Illinois. Kevin. And from Oshawa, good morning, guys. Francis and Keith, Bell River. Donna from Park Hill. Gloria, good morning. Madeleine, how are you from Kippawa, Quebec? Julie, Bowmanville. Wanda, Virginia. Oh, Wanda. Andrea, Nouveau Brunswick. Kathleen, Newfoundland. And there's Doc McEwen, dear friend from West Tennessee. Nick from our staff. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Leslie from Thunder Bay. Denise, Oakville. And Mike's laughing. Sue, St. Petersburg, Florida. Rose from Peterborough. Robin, Connecticut. And Marcy, the meathead she calls herself. Darlene, Saskatchewan. Cheryl, West Virginia, good morning. Donna, Bell Valley, and Sandra, and Marcia is saying Buenos Dios. And that is good day in Mexico, Joan. Joan, how are you? Linda from New Brunswick. Adeline from the Salle near Windsor. Kathy from Simcoe. Victoria from Saskatchewan. Nellie and Troy from Fort Murray, Alberta. Helga from Scarborough. Fran from Valcaron. Karen, Peterborough. Heather, Miramichi. Lori. Okay, let's get going, guys. Thanks for joining us. Wendy, I didn't mean to miss you, Wendy. I didn't mean to, honest. Who else did I miss? Sue, how are you? Yolande, bonjour. Hannah, good morning. And Barbara from Atlanta. And Dale, put your hand up if I missed you. And me, Cecilia, how are you guys? We appreciate you. Liette, good morning. And Penny. And Fran from Orangeville. Okay, let me get to the questions this morning. Okay, and Brianna's asking a question. I think she probably asked it within our group, okay, the Martin Clinic private Facebook group. Does anyone know anything about the health benefits of castor oil? Is it just a fad or actually medicinally beneficial? I have heard it can subsidize pain related to ovarian cysts. And then Brianna, okay, so Brianna and somebody else asked a question on castor oil. Let me just look real quick. I should have wrote that name down. Castor oil. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's Brianna, twice. Okay, it's the same one. Okay, and Brianna's asking in another way. What is she asking there? I've been having a lot of pain from ovarian cysts, and my husband was looking into castor oil benefits. Okay, it's the same Brianna, I'm assuming. Brianna, look, castor oil has been around for a long time, and anybody that's in alternative medicine I don't know if you want to call that, natural medicine, which I was in for almost 50 years. Man, that makes me old. If you haven't heard of castor oil, you come from another planet. Now, the benefits of castor oil, and my grandfather used to use it, and with the heat, and rub some on the belly for different things, and ovarian pain and all. Look, I think I talked about this maybe last week or the week before. I got no problem with castor oil. Okay? I got no problem at all. When it tells you it cures everything from coughs, colds to ovarian cysts, now I got a problem with it. Because my experience is not that. Am I against it? Not at all. If you find, Brianna, and try it, if you find it gives you relief from your ovarian cyst, good for you. But when I was in practice, it wasn't castor oil, because what I do with ovarian cyst, why do you get ovarian cyst? You see, I get to the root issue because ovarian cysts only grow in the presence of estrogen dominance. Estrogen too high, okay? Progesterone too low, and in that presence, ovarian cysts would grow. Add to that, add another growth hormone, insulin. Insulin makes things grow, okay? So, for ovarian cysts, and I was big on, uterine cysts, any kind of growth in the woman's anatomy would be caused by estrogen dominance. They had too much estrogen compared to progesterone. So I was a root guy. Now, that doesn't mean castor oil. If you find that effective, go for it. But for me, I was blocking extra estrogen, okay? And that's what I did. I would dim it out. And I would get that patient to cut down on the carbohydrates. Why? To lower insulin. Two things, lower estrogen and lower insulin. And that's why, one of the reasons, guys, I love flax seeds. Flax seeds would be better for your ovarian cyst than castor oil, because flax seeds have 100 times more lignans than any other seed or nut or anything. And that what helps to block your estrogen, extra estrogen. You don't have to worry about estrogen. You got a lot of estrogen. Men get a lot of estrogen. They got more estrogen than their wives when they hit 50, most men. So I'm a blocker of it. That's where I come from, Brianna. But anything that would give you relief, if castor oil gives you relief from that, you're not getting at the root issue, but if it gives you relief, go for it. I'm all for it, okay? And like I said, I've been around a long time. Castor oil, my grandfather used it. Okay? My grandfather used to use it. The Martin Clinic's over 100 years old. And you guys think I'm over 100 years old. But I'm really not. Okay? I'm getting there. Okay, thank you, Brianna, for the question. I saw it twice, and anyway. Linda. Do you know that we love Lindas and Larrys? Okay, that's what I call when I'm trying to get your attention, right? Lindas. Linda asked, regarding the podcast Cream versus Milk. You remember that? Cream versus milk. I brought out a milk container, if my memory serves me properly, and a cream container. And I read you the difference in sugars. Okay? So that's what Linda is referring to. I've listened to the podcast 2 times. Well, you're a smart girl, Linda. You're listening. Where Dr. Martin said there are 13 grams of sugar in a 1% milk carton, as opposed to no grams of sugar and 35% cream. He never mentions, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, where the 13 grams of sugar comes from. Why do I call? It's not added by the dairy industry, okay? It's not added by that. It's subtraction. When you subtract, okay, Linda, if I didn't say it, I sure should have. So I'm glad you brought it up. How do you get 13 grams of sugar in a serving of 1% milk compared to 35% cream? How do you get sugar in there? Well, it's by subtraction. When you take the fat out of something, you are in dairy, you increase the sugar content. It's by subtraction, not by addition. Okay? And I didn't mention that. I sure meant to. Okay? You don't have to add sugar. Why do I call 1% milk, skim milk, milk at the grocery store? Why am I so against it? It's what they take out. If you got a cow in the backyard, Linda, drink milk because you're really drinking cream. Very, very, very low sugar. Okay? There's some sugar. Like if you look at, for example, yogurt, Greek plain yogurt, there's still some grams of sugar in there. Okay, it's not that they're adding it. It's found in dairy. But the amount goes way up by subtraction, not by addition. Okay? Did I answer your question? Linda, thank you for that question. I'm glad you brought it up. And I'm glad you listened to that podcast twice. You know, you guys know me. I'm a big reader of the Bible. Okay? I read my Bible every day. There's a part in the book of Acts in the New Testament that talks about Bereans versus those at Thessalonica. Okay, big story to tell you this. The writer of Acts said, well, the people in Berea were much more diligent than those in Thessalonica. You know why? Because they searched the scriptures, the Old Testament, to see if what the Apostle Paul was saying was true or not. Guys, I want you to think. I'm not asking you to trust me only. I'm giving you the other side of it, almost invariably, right? I'm giving you something. I'm going to talk about a few things today. I'm going to give you my view on it. I'm right. But what do I tell you almost every day? Almost every other guru don't agree with me. I'm giving you the other side of it. Okay? The food industry certainly doesn't agree with me on 99.9% of everything that I say. The food industry would tell you, oh, it's the opposite. We'll talk about that today because I've got some questions on that. Okay? And guys, all I've been saying for a lot of years on my radio show for 20 and now my podcast years, what have I been saying? They're lying. Liars, liars, pants on fires. It's not science they're talking about. It's indoctrination. And they're good at it. And the media is in on it. And medicine is in on it in the sense they don't take any nutrition in medical school. So you might as well, you know how I used to say this, you might as well go to your plumber. Go ask your plumber. You got a plumber and your doctor, okay? Look, I hate to be negative, but sort of being facetious, but true in a way. If a plumber listened to me for a couple of months, and then you had a debate between a plumber and most doctors, not all, most, about nutrition, the plumber would know more. Why? Because they don't teach nutrition. Imagine that. They don't teach nutrition in medical school. If they get a half an hour, I would give them a high five. They don't know anything about nutrition. So what happens? You have a narrative. It's been going on for years. Cholesterol, bad. Fat makes you fat. It's all about calories. It's all about moderation. Milk is good for you. You need milk. No, you don't. You need mama's milk. And then give that kid water. I don't need to drink anything except Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie with cream. Okay? But that's where I come from. And I get excited. Okay. Linda, thanks. Stacy. How are you, Stacy? I got a daughter named Stacy. Does anyone know what helps to repair myelin sheaths? Yep. I know. B12. There's nothing that will repair your myelin sheaths like B12. Okay? And that's why B12, that's why Dr. Martin almost on a daily basis will talk to you about B12 or vitamin D or both. I am so big on B12. It's because in all my years of practice, what did I see almost? Well, I did see it every day. That was people walking around, they had no idea, with low levels of B12. And your brain needs B12 and your nerves need B12. Myelin sheaths are the covering of your nerves. They need B12 to work properly. And when you're deficient in B12, you're not going to drop dead in overnight. Doesn't work like that. But you're not going to be well. And again, where do you get B12? In food. You know it. I know it. But the world, they don't like it because it goes against their narrative. Red meat, bad. I got other questions about red meat. Who asked another question? Let me get to it right away. Red. Now, Red, is that your name? Or is Red because you're asking me a question about red meat? But I got Red. Red, how are you? If that's your real name. I used to know guys that were called Red. Hey, Red. What does red meat feed? I'm glad you asked. Firmicutes or bacterioids. Okay. And Red, look, I usually tell people, don't get into the weeds don't get in too deep. You're making life confusing. But no, you're a reader. Good for you. Again, challenge me. Challenge me. I'm going to say something, Red. I want you to think about it. And you do your reading. Okay? But just understand this. There is a war today. Here it is. There is a war today on red meat. There's a war. They want you to eat crickets. Okay? There's a war on cows. There's a war on red meat. That's a fact. It's propaganda. It's not science. They couch it in the name of science. It is so far from science, it drives me crazy. And I've shown you in the past, and I will show you, God willing, if this show continues, on a daily basis, what's better for you, red meat or any other food in the world. Any other food. Red meat is the best. It is the most nutrient dense food in the world. All the vitamins. And somebody asked me the other day about vitamin C. Do you know that even when you have steak, you get some vitamin C? You don't need a lot of vitamin C, by the way. You need coffee. Oh, there's questions about coffee this morning. So here's what I'm saying, Red. Okay? You're talking about good guys and bad guys, okay? And let me just, because they're big names and I often mispronounce them. Red, what are you asking? Firmicutes, I don't even know if that's how you say it, and bacterioids. Firmicutes are the good guys. Bacterioids are the bad guys. Good and bad. Which one are you feeding with red meat? Red. You're feeding the good guys. Okay? And then you ask, okay, Red goes on to say, is meat okay for colorectal cancer? Do you know what? Here's my statement, Red. I'm not going to ever back off of it. Never. You show me every study. I'm not backing off of what I'm going to say right now. I won't back off of it. Cancer, got it? Hates, got it? Steak, it hates it because it doesn't feed it. Steak feeds your good guys, Red. Okay, and I know all the gurus out there and all their fiber. Only fiber feeds good guys. That is a bunch of bunk. It's a bunch of bunk. And it's brought to you by Kellogg's. And the food companies, they love it. Okay? The middle aisles of your grocery store, people, they love that. It's where all the money is in groceries. Okay? And they just have had that same narrative that red meat causes cancer. You know how many years that's been around? Over 40. And consistently on my radio show and podcast, I tell you, that ain't true. That ain't true. I don't care if the majority of people say it. It's not true. It can't be true. Because how can something so good for you, and the only thing that really contains B12, an essential vitamin, all the other B vitamins, by the way, too, how can that be bad for you? It feeds your good guys, Red. Your good guys. Cancer hates steak and loves bread and sugar and all the things that they tell you are good for you. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay, thank you. And I get a little excited. Doris, or hold on, I got to make sure I'm missing people. I'm missing people. See, I better go to the top. Okay, I missed a lot of people. Stacy, thanks for the question. Red, thanks for the question. I have a majority of these symptoms of dystonia, but not had diagnosis. I have 2 cervical fusions. Any supplements to take with neurological problems? I just mentioned them. Vitamin D, B12. And vitamin D and B12. B12 and vitamin D. Neurological. And just about everything else too. Olive, thank you. Eva, do you have a supplement that would dissolve clots? Well, look. If you got a clot, don't wait for a supplement to dissolve it. Okay? Like, you want to thin your blood and make sure you don't get a stroke. Because if that clot, for example, is in your leg and it goes up into your lungs, you're in deep doo-doo. Okay? So, look, what keeps your blood thin is the way I look at it. What's the number one thing that thins out your blood? I'm waiting. It's a question. What is the number one thing that thins out your blood? Water. Tina, that's my audience. Annette, you guys are so stinking smart. Patricia and Rosa and you, Michael, you got it. Water. And Gertie, I like that too because Gertie's thinking. K2. Look, there's actually proteolytic enzymes, okay? Proteolytic enzymes that help dissolve clots, okay? And, but again, I'm very, very, look, there's something that medicine does well, okay? So if you got a clot, then they put a clot buster in there. That's where medicine can save your life. I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, I am wanting to prevent clots. And the first thing you want to do is you got 60,000 miles of blood vessels. It's the river of life. Blood is the river of life. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Thin it out. I saw live blood for years. And I showed people for years, look, you got blood as thick as molasses. Thin it out. Drink more water. Oh, Dr. Martin, I drink a lot of things. I drink a lot of, my doctor just said drink fluids. Your doctor? Oh. Ooh. I don't want to be so negative all the time, okay? I want to be positive. Okay. And she has deep vein thrombosis. So Eva, yeah, you're right. You got to be very, very careful with that. And to protect going down the road, you see, I'm not so much, okay, water, proteolytic enzymes can be effective. We have them in our digestive enzymes. Now, let me say something else. When it comes to blood clots, to prevent water, right? Don't get dehydrated. One, exercise, move, blood vessels, and nitric oxide. Why I love Navitol, because it elevates your nitric oxide. So does vitamin D. Nitric oxide, does what? Opens blood vessels. Okay? The best supplement in the world for nitric oxide, bar none, is pine bark extract. Navitol. The best. By far. And I proved it too. And then look at the question Marsha's asking. Can too much DHA cause blood clots? Just the opposite, Marsha. DHA never, ever, ever once caused a blood clot. And the reason is, Marsha, think of DHA. What is it? Lubrication. You're getting a lubrication with DHA. It makes your blood vessels slippery, not sticky. Sticky. Sugar makes your blood vessels sticky. And you want your blood vessels to be slippery. And DHA, Marsha, makes your blood vessels slippery so you don't clot. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. I am so glad you asked me that question, Marsha, because I got excited. Okay. Tanya, what supplements could help a person with mast cell syndrome? Well, mast cells are allergy cells. I used to see this in my office all the time. I turn around and say, you got allergies. Oh, yeah. Okay. I said, I know, because you got a lot of mast cells up. And they release histamine. And histamine makes you sneeze or cough, watery eyes, whatever, right? You got allergies, you get hives or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're mast cells. And so what supplements could help a person with mast cell? Well, first of all, Tanya, most of that happens first in the gut. So that's why I am so big on probiotics, okay? And the other thing is, okay, with leaky gut and mast cell syndrome, a lot of times that goes along with this is you got a lot of yeast in your body, fungus, candida. Don't feed the bears. You know why a lot of people, their allergies get a lot better when they don't have any sugar at all? Because they're not feeding bears. They're not feeding the yeast. Okay? And so, yeah. And when you got that, a lot of people, Tanya, they're allergic to themselves. Their worst enemy is themselves. They got leaky gut. Okay? Autoimmune. That's mast cells. When they go crazy. And you're allergic, some people are allergic. I call them, you're allergic to yourself. You're weird. But that's what autoimmune is. Okay? And I used the illustration. I got them right here. Okay? Autoimmune. When they check the gut, instead of seeing the shag carpet with the villi here, they see that the small intestine villi have been carpet bombed, and now it looks like that. The villi have been carpet bombed. Don't you like that? Don't you like that expression? How did they get carpet bombed? Antibiotics. The very thing that will save your life will carpet bomb your gut. Okay, I'm getting too excited. William, what does Dr. Martin think of inositol? I don't know how they pronounce it. Okay? But here's what I think, William. For sleep and anxiety. Your body makes it. Just like your body makes, the adrenal makes DHA. Excuse me, not DHA. D-E. I'm so used to saying DHA all the time. But what I'm saying is this, okay? So if you're looking to supplement that, you know where you get inositol? If that's how you say it. When you eat steak. You got all the B vitamins in steak. All of them. Okay? And B12. Now, I'm big on supplementing, not with B complex so much. I'm not. I rarely ever gave anybody in my clinic anything but B12 and then sent them home and told them to eat a lot more steak. Okay? Red meat. Now, inositol or anyway, who cares what it's called? Your body makes that, but in the presence of B vitamins, that's why I would tell you to eat more steak. To take that as a supplement, like DHEA. Worth taking? I never found it to be that effective. 5-HTP? Again, if it works for you, good for you. But I'm just giving you clinical experience. Not so much. If you want a good product, in my opinion, is our cortisol formula. There's nothing better on the market. Nothing. I made it. All those ingredients. But I just had all that experience. And then some things worked. Some things didn't work so well for sleep and anxiety. And that's why, like I've told this program, I don't know how many thousands of times, I'm not big on melatonin. I love melatonin. Your body makes it. The sun. And dark at night. Wear your mask over your eyes. But I'm not big on taking melatonin as a supplement. I'm just not. When the craze came in about 20, 25 years ago, I mean, it was melatonin, 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 melatonin. It was everywhere. And I had a radio show. And people I would phone in every week. Dr. Martin, what about melatonin? Yeah, I heard it a million times. And I had the same answer then as I have today. Go out in the sun. Don't wear sunglasses. You're gonna make melatonin from the sun. And you don't even have to sunbathe. Let your eyes sunbathe. Okay? And even on your skin. Okay? And even in northern Ontario in the winter, as long as it's a sunny day, you're making melatonin. You're not making vitamin D, but you're making melatonin. Okay. I know I'm crazy, but too bad. It's the way I am. Okay, Doris. Doris has got ventricular function appears abnormal. Okay, what can I do to help? Well, if your ejection fraction is not up to snuff, the best thing for your heart, in my opinion, I would do maybe 3 things, but the best one is CoQ10, ubiquinol. Anything heart-related is ubiquinol, CoQ10. How do you get that in food? How do you get ubiquinol in food? CoQ10. Steak. Yeah. Another reason why you want to eat it. Now, if you've got, your heart ain't working the way it should, I'm big on ubiquinol. Okay? I'm big on it. CoQ10. I love Navitol too, by the way, because of opens up those blood vessels so your heart doesn't have to work as much. Okay. Thank you, Doris. Marty, what does Dr. Martin think of methylate folate? Well, again, I'm just going to bring this to you. Okay? I like methyl. Okay? Methylating is a process. It's more bioavailable. I am showing you, Marty, our B12. See that? Okay? And if you read the back of it, it says 4,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin. Okay? Methyl. Methyl at the front of B12 or folate is the best because it's the most bioavailable of that form. Now, you can get B12 and it might say cyanocobalamin, or it might say, my head is, I'm a senior. Anyway, methyl is the best, for sure, because it's what your body brings in. This is the most absorbable B12 is methyl. Read your labels, guys. Make sure that your B12 is methylcobalamin, okay? It's the one your body absorbs. Okay, thank you very much for that. That was Marty, okay. Marianne, what could some of the symptoms experienced with candida parasite cleanse? Well, you get a die-off. If you're full of yeast, the yeast is like the last of the Mohicans. It don't like to die. It's going to put up a fight. Yeast don't feed the bears, and if you don't feed the bears and you cleanse them and they come out of your body, it's called a die-off. Does it happen? You bet your boots it happens. About 90% of the people, when they start killing off yeast, they get a die-off. It's an actual happening where people, they don't feel so good, they're nauseous, maybe some digestive issues. It's the yeast saying, you stinker. How did you find out how to kill me? And they die off. It's actually a medical term, die off. Okay? Now, most doctors don't think you could ever get yeast. You know, and you're not following yeast, you know. Dr. Martin made that up, you know. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not out to win them as converts. Okay. Marianne, thanks for the question. Joy. Oxalates. Okay. Joy, who else? Wendy. Wait a minute. David, Marcia, and Joy all had questions on oxalates. Okay, so let's do it. I did the big dive this week. I did a real good dive on oxalates this week. Okay, and guys, what did I say? The animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and man-made kingdom. The oxalates are found in the plant kingdom. Okay, and I'm not saying you can't have plants. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't live on the plant kingdom. You were never meant to live there, but you can eat them. But just understand one of the side effects of interstitial side effects of oxalates are kidney stones, gallstones, interstitial cystitis, bladder stones, okay? And because women generally, okay, I'm going to make a general statement, and there's a lot of exceptions, but I'm going to make a general statement. Women bought the lie in the 1980s and the 1990s and in the 2000s that salad was better than meat. And women who love their salad and green smoothies were making lots of oxalates. Okay? Crystals, glass. So all I say is don't live on them. You can have some. You want to have your salad? Have a salad. Don't make it the main thing in your life. I know women, they love that. I hear it every day. Dr. Martin, all I say to you, you're not a rabbit. Okay? You're not. You're a woman. Okay. And I know there's men that like their salads. Okay? I know that. Don't answer. Don't get... I'm making a point. Okay. Let me get to the other one. They all asked the same. Oh, I hear who was saying that... okay. Marcia, do popcorn, tomato juice, pure cranberry juice ingredients, only cranberries contain oxalates? Could that precipitate kidney and urinary problems? Popcorn, I like popcorn. Look, don't live on it. And tomatoes, nah. You know, tomatoes, acidic, tomatoes, oxalates. Come on. But don't live on them tomatoes. Okay? Tomatoes are potatoes. They both have oxalates. But that doesn't make them bad. It's the amount. And the worst oxalate ever is almond milk. 2,000 times more than you need in a day. 1 glass of almond milk. What do you got that for? Never drink it. Okay? Ever. Now, who asked about coffee? Wait a minute. Let me get to it because there's 2 questions about coffee. Let me answer them. Someone was asking. Oh, yes. It was Dana. Dana, thanks for the question. Dr. Martin was talking about oxalates today and how bad they are for us. I love you, Dana. What should we do about oxalates in coffee? Well, okay, I got a PhD in nutrition. Here's what I'm going to tell you about oxalates in coffee. That is fake news. There's so little oxalate in coffee. You want to fix kidney stones? Drink coffee. Black coffee. Oh, you should see the new study that came out about coffee and fatty liver. I don't have time today to get into it, but I promise you, you know me and coffee. And I'm sorry, Dana, I just don't agree with that. I know you read it. I've seen it. I seen it 40-something years ago. And you know what I used to say? I didn't say fake news. I used to say BS. Okay? That coffee don't have oxalates. They don't. Okay. Coffee's good for you. I'm glad you asked that question, Dana. But somebody else is asking about coffee. Here it is. I got C-E-R-E, Cerisa. I don't know if the girls spelt this right or whatever. And if they didn't, Cerisa, maybe it's Teresa. I don't know. But if it's Cerisa, let me answer your question. You're always talking about how good coffee is for you. I am? Since when? Oh, a minute ago. Okay? But my family has a history of anxiety and AFib. What's that got to do with coffee? Coffee's good for you. Coffee's good for your heart. Coffee's good for AFib. Why would you cut it out? Okay? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It's not true. Coffee got a bad rap, but it started 60 years ago, 50 years ago. I had to defend coffee in the 1970s when I graduated. Coffee companies owe me money. I was their biggest fan, and I said it for years. It's not acidic. It doesn't make you acidic. I hate when they said that. So you drink coffee, and your body has sodium bicarbonate. It makes it alkaline. And was I right? 150 and counting studies have shown that coffee is the real vitamin C. I'm going to bring you another one early next week on coffee. Okay? Promise. Okay, and Lorraine's asking about water. Water is water. She says she boils water every day at room temperature. Is that the way you like it? Lorraine? Yeah. Water's water. Only water is water, but you're drinking water. Go for it. You want to boil your water? Boil it. I don't care. I knew people that used to drink hot water. They boil the water and drink it like a coffee and tea. Hot, hot, hot. I don't care. I like cold water in the morning because that gets your metabolism going. But hey, water's water. And how much a day, Lorraine? 2 liters. 64 ounces for my American friends. That's the sweet spot. And that's the amount the minimum amount people need. Okay? Cheryl. I hate these big words. Pilonoleo. That is when you get an infection, an abscess, right at the crack of the bum. Okay? And an ingrown hair there gets infected in an abscess. I've seen it. I've seen it in my days of practice. And it ain't no fun under the sun. The best thing for that is probiotic. I used to get them to open up a probiotic with oil of oregano. I'd make a little salve for them with probiotic capsule opened with the powder, oil of oregano, a little bit of coconut oil. But it's an abscess, and it ain't no fun. Okay, thanks for the question. And Francis, okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. Is glycine, magnesium, she's asking about magnesium glycinate, but magnesium biglycinate, bisglycinate, biglycinate, whatever you want to call it, it's the same. It's the same. Okay. I like magnesium citrate and biglycinate. Okay. And the reason we got biglycinate, I like it, is because of some people with the citrate, they found it bothered their stomach, loosened their stool, and we got biglycinate. Okay. But they're very, very good for you. Okay, I answered Brianna. There is a Storm. Okay, I've been diagnosed. Storm is saying I've been diagnosed with fatty liver. What can I help to take the liver heal itself with CBD oil with fatty liver? I've never heard that CBD oil helps fatty liver. Now, maybe it does. You're bringing something new to me. I know CBD oil, but I didn't know that it does anything with fatty liver. But on Monday, okay, now Storm, I'm going to answer with big detail on Monday on fatty liver. New study just came out. I'm going to wait till Monday, Storm, to answer your question. I don't know about the CBD, but I'll do know what the new study says on how to empty your liver from fatty liver. Wendy's asking about cirrhosis of the liver. Now that's a different puppy. That's advanced liver damage. Can you reverse it? Yes, possibly. You need the grace of God, and you got to be so strict. But cirrhosis, now your liver can regenerate. There's no organ like your liver in the body. Okay, there's just none. So if any organ can regenerate, it's your liver, but you better never have another stinking carb in your life. Anyway, we're going to get into that more on Monday. Thanks for the question. Francis is asking about pericarditis, and that's inflammation of the little sac around your heart. How do you get it? Usually through a virus can attack that. Now, there's been research about bacteria in the gums descending into the pericarditis, into the sac of the heart. Okay? At the end of the day, you want to have a very strong immune system. If anybody gets pericarditis, inflammation of that sac, well, you want to do everything anti-inflammatory. Diet, no sugars, no carbs. I would do the reset, and I would be very big on high DHA, CoQ10, heart, CoQ10. Ubiquinol is CoQ10. And it better not be ubiquinone. It's ubiquinol you need, okay? And I would be on probiotics. I would be on oil of oregano, inflammation, infection. Okay. There, I think I did it. David asked about the crystals in the bladder, and I already answered that question. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, I'm breathing, okay? If I had a watch that told me to breathe, it would have been talking to me since the start of the program. So that's why I don't wear one of those watches. I don't want to know. I don't want anybody to tell me to breathe. Okay, guys, we love you guys. You have no idea. You guys are so smart. It blows me away how smart my audience is. It blows me away. Love you. See you soon.